In a world where dreams are made and fortunes are built, meet 10 extraordinary entrepreneurs. They are risk takers, innovators, and visionaries. They navigate the ever-changing landscape of business. Witness their triumphs and challenges as they strive to turn their ideas into a reality. Get ready for the thrilling journey into the world of the real entrepreneur. Previously on the entrepreneurs, congratulations, you have made it to the next challenge. However, before we introduce what that challenge is, the person who received bank and dominated the previous challenge was Jarvis.
Carly, I love the way that you implemented your expertise in AI, but also brought on more of the brand and the interactiveness and customer service aspect that I talked about when I was explaining this. So you did a phenomenal job, and that's why I want to keep you on.
Hello.
Good evening.
I am Solana Legend. I am an award-winning author and keynote speaker. Your next challenge is to create a speaking event for my best-selling book, How to Love a Black Man, Respect Him.
Man, I feel vulnerable. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna cry. To see a grown man like break out in tears. But I'm okay with showing vulnerability as a man because I think sometimes that's missing in our community. But she absolutely was amazed at all of the information that we were able to come up with. And me being a mental health advocate, she invited us basically to come and work with her because she was so impressed with us. So I'm humbled, and I'm just appreciative for the opportunity to talk about this task because our Black men need the attention that we're giving, and I'm grateful to just be a part of it.
I think we did really, really well. We did great with the division of tasks. We did great with our time management. We were able to pull together a pretty smooth presentation where each of us got to participate and really contribute to that, so that they could tell that we really digested the information from her book and from our websites. She was really impressed with the thought that we did, that we didn't just plan the event, we actually did the social media calendar and the PR calendar, and we actually identified community organizations that she could partner with and that could sponsor her to help her reduce her costs. We also put together a campaign of 4 different events, one just for her, but also piggybacking off of other community events. And we did everything for under $10,000. And that was before we even took into account sponsorships. So she was really impressed, and I'm really excited to hear the results.
I feel that I did well, and I just want to thank, working with Jay and Carly, because I don't know how I would have gotten this far without them in the sense of putting everything together. Carly's skills just helping me solidify my ideas, helping me navigate on getting the pinpoints of what we, promoted, getting all the analytics. And I'm also thankful that I was inspired by getting to see this book and Miss Solar, and getting to tell part of my story. And I'm just, I do, feel the vulnerability, but I'm just thankful. And now I'm gonna keep it real. I do feel like out of all 3 of us, maybe I was the weaker link, but I've learned so much even from this game moving forward on how I want to present moving forward.
So we can get some follow-up questions and understand how you all collaborated to get your room. You all feel free to go into the hall. Wesley, Jay, and Carly, we would like to know your steps of how you developed your presentation, how you chose to embody what we were the questions, and start from the beginning. Who was responsible for what?
So I took the role of project manager, and we divided up the tasks of what needed to happen. So Jay was responsible for finding local events or event space for us so that we could plan what our strategy was going to be. And then Wesley was responsible for developing the emotional connection and relevance part. And I put together the flow of the presentation, and Wesley also worked on the budget. Was that right?
I worked on the social media PR rollout. Yes, and uh, well, not gonna lie, I was sorry, I was given the task of looking for the events, and as we kept talking, some things just got mistranslated upon presenting. Yeah, just want to say that first, so.
And I forward the budget, the numbers to the budget and found the events to put her into.
Okay, is there anything additional that you think would add light into your understanding of the task and what we received during your presentation?
I think that we could have been more clear about the Black Pride event and how, like, we did mention that we had identified venues that she would be able to have at no cost to do the event there, but we should have made a bigger statement about it being her personal event.
And I feel like I could have added more if I wouldn't have got choked up in the middle, more about the mental health piece because I'm a mental health advocate.
And I believe one of the events that they had at the mental health table, we were looking at the sponsors and stuff too.
I will say I could have constructed more on bringing the PR and social events to these specific events and making that the highlight of your convention.
Deanna, if I could ask a question.
Of course.
I just would like to know, out of all of the 4 events, correct me, you guys did say from June into December there were 4 events. Why did you highlight the Black Pride event?
So we were looking specifically for Black romance topics for events. We found the fiction book and the Black Love Recovery event. And so when we saw the Black Pride, we were like, this is key because it's not just reaching out to the Black community, but it's also embracing the LGBT community, and that book still speaks to them as well.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Would you have any follow-up questions?
What would you do different if you had a chance to redo the challenge and use your hour differently? What would you do differently?
I think I would have started creating the actual PowerPoint presentation earlier. We ran out of time and had some technical difficulties trying to get it to actually to be able to put slides together, and I think that would have kept us on track better. It was difficult to do it just based on the text that we had that hadn't really been put into the right format.
And I would have probably insisted more that an actual date be solidified so that it will be clear that this is the actual date of launch for her personal event.
We did pick that Sunday that was the last day of Pride.
Yeah, I made it clear enough.
Yes, and with the rollout of your specific conventions, we wanted. I feel like I could have extended more the actual rollout of how it's going to go, and bringing more opportunities for sponsorships and bringing more emphasis on the actual tour as well. How that would roll out. So
we did spend a lot of time working on the social media and the PR campaigns because we knew that was going to be really critical for audience engagement.
In identifying sponsors, what was the plan to actually secure funds for the launch?
So we identified organizations that you could partner with for domestic violence and just general community organizations. We did not identify how much funds, obviously, that you would be able to get because we weren't sure what those connections would be or what relationships you already had established. But that's why we were able to bring the budget together at $10,000 before sponsorships.
Okay.
My final question on my end will be, you all represent 3 different types of entrepreneurs, and I I would like to know, how did your individual skill set from what you've been showing throughout the previous tasks, how are you able to apply it to this task, or how would you have applied your individuality differently? Because one thing as an entrepreneur, you have to stand your ground on your product and your service and how you show up in the world. But also when it comes to collaboration, you have to make sure you don't get too muddled, but you find cohesion and cohesiveness amongst you. So how was your time working together, and how were you able to apply your uniqueness and skill set to this task?
I would have focused more on the Black family. I don't have a lot of experience in the Black Pride arena, but I wasn't opposed to it. It's just not something that I'm, as familiar with. And I would have like probably added more to the actual structure of the flow, but I wanted to step back because uh, Kylie took the position of manager more so. So I just kind of added more like an assisting role.
Okay, I will agree with that because you have been spot on with making sure you hit all of your points very well and very concise throughout the competition. So thank you for being self-aware enough to ask that, Carly.
Um, I think that I did apply my skills here. I think
Okay.
that that my knowledge of AI allowed us to pull together a lot of really good information all together. It was a little more difficult than I anticipated to pull all the fractions of everything to get it into a cohesive unit. But I really feel like we did a really good job because I was not only working with them on the project, but also teaching them how to use the software to be able to get the information out of it that we needed.
Okay, heard Wesley.
Well, I feel like potentially first part is my skill set is more on the creative side of things. Just building campaigns on the creative side with everything from the visuals, to rolling out videos. I feel like where I do need to learn, and thank you for this experience moving on from this show, is I need to, as you guys told me earlier, I need to pivot and start focusing more on the bigger aspects rather than just the creative campaign, because you can have a great creative campaign, but if those other factors don't carry, then you just have something nice looking without a proper working machine. So that's, I definitely would have done that differently, just learning more instead of just letting boss tell me what to what to do. So
If I could add something, Deanna, I want to address Jay as a Black man, as a strong Black man who has a history, a very significant history, and the way that you related to the book. I would have loved to see you step up in leadership, being that this meant something so close to you, so that you were able to delegate who needed to do what, how it needed to be presented. I really think that in this case, that would have helped a whole lot.
Oh, definitely agree. I would want to say too, though I appreciate you being the project manager, to it was an oversight to me that you have a Black man here, and this book is about how to love a Black man, and you let your technical skill, or your thoughts about your technical skills be more important. When I gave the instructions, I pressed that the story is what's really going to sell this, because AI is just information, but it's the personal story. And while I do want this book to reach everyone, and I appreciate you as a white sister, like, being passionate for the cause, but you're not the face of it. And you guys have missed a major opportunity to have a Black man lead this challenge. And Wesley, I want to say to you, you missed an amazing opportunity to bring your unique craft to this campaign. You could have made a How to Love a Black Man comic book. You could make books for the kids, animated T-shirts. You could have did animated advertisements. I don't feel like you guys really brought your unique gifts as three different types of entrepreneurs into this challenge. So maybe just to relying too heavily on that software kind of impeded the creativity that could have been brought forth from the combination of your unique skills.
And just to add, Wesley, we want to. Wesley is definitely a black man, so she had two Wesley.
I'm sorry. That's it. I was not aware of that. So my bad.
No, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we respect what you all brought to the table. You did not disrespect her or leave her high and dry. You gave her phenomenal things.
Absolutely.
You brought her your heart, and we appreciate that. But that being said, we're here to challenge you as entrepreneurs. And one thing as entrepreneurs, the world is vast and the world is tough, and you cannot let yourself get lost in the process. But you also have to roll with what the demand of the times are. And the demand of the time was to bring her highlight, to bring her to her event. And that's why you all ended up at the bottom. With that being said, we thought through your presentation, and I like you all's vulnerability and your transparency of what you brought just now in this critique. But we did also decide that we will be saving Wesley in this round. So Wesley, this is a moment where, yes, you need to continue that critique, but don't lose yourself in being compliant, because the thing that we appreciate about you is you have a unique, crazy presence about you in your posture and in the way you think differently. But at the end, you have to be able to stay resilient as an entrepreneur. And that's a non-negotiable to be successful in your business.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Wesley.
Thank you.
We're going to leave the final decision to Dr. Pitts. Good luck.
Entrepreneurs, you are here in the judgment zone. Carly, this is your first time in the bottom two. Jay, you've been here before. Jay, the judges were not impressed with you not being able to take leadership in this challenge, especially when the book, the author, was geared around how to love a black man. The judges felt that you should have been the one taking leadership. Carly, the judges felt that in this particular challenge, you shouldn't have been the leader in this challenge. You should have been the one to be, as a project manager, make the right decision, not just for yourself, but for your team. The individual that I turn over will be saved, and the one that will not be turned over will be gone from the competition. The entrepreneur that will be saved is Jay. Congratulations. You were saved this round. Again, you were at the bottom. Time to level up and shape out. Carly, unfortunately, you were chose to go home. However, you do have bank. So my question to you would be, would you like to use it, or would you like to take the bank and walk away?